Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me in the studio today here in South Wales, UK. So I was thinking, I don't know whether my heart is shrinking or my head is getting bigger, but it is a little bit tight today. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the palette.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by. It's time to learn with our friend Clive.
So as I said, my head's getting a bit big. No, let's have a look at the palette. We've got some ultramarine blue, some cadmium yellow, but there we got some titanium white and black. That's it. Few colours. I like doing paintings like this. I really do. I like to just put a few colours on, see what I can come up with. Now, I am thinking of some sort of a standard card as a normal. I am thinking of something with an horizon line. So we're going to put an horizon line approximately there like that. And don't forget, if you want to get a nice sharp line, if you're doing something like a seascape or something, don't forget to put some masking tape or painter's tape on there, paint up to the line, and then you can take the tape off. I don't do that because basically I haven't got any, so I have to freehand it. So let's get, I want a very pale, blue sky today. So a small amount of blue. That's too much wet there. I put a bit too much water on the palette then. Okay, let's just get this nice pale blue colour. I want that very pale today, just like that. So now I am able to use my paint very thinly and with a lot of water. For the simple and only reason is that I paint on cardboard. This is the cardboard that I paint on. It is a mount board. As you can see, it's quite thick. You can get this on eBay, and I cut it in half, as I've said on many occasions. Now you can use canvas panels or canvas, but be aware, not to thin your paint down more than about 45%, because it just doesn't like it. It'll flake and peel and give you all these other stupid reasons why the painting is going to fail over time, not necessarily on the day you paint it. So that's just a way acrylic paint works. Unfortunately, the properties of acrylic paint are quite a pain. Okay, so let's get I want to just get a little bit more blue in that sky. I just get that. I got an idea in my head. Sometimes these ideas work, sometimes they don't work. But I'm hoping today it will work. Now what I'm going to do is add more white. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to put a little bit of yellow in the sky, and I don't want it to go green. So I'm just going to add just a little bit of white in like that. Just like that. Just give me a base for the yellow to attach itself to, but with that hint of blue as well, and that's what I'm looking for. Just bringing that down there like that. So the weather's been quite nice here in Wales. Unfortunately, we've had a few bereavements that we've had to attend, and that's been causing me a bit of a problem with uploading and things like that. So if I haven't been uploading as much as I have normally do, I only normally upload one a week anyway, but sometimes I can't even do that, and this has been one of the weeks that I haven't been able to upload many videos at all. So yeah, let's get that horizon line in like that. So we got a little bit of that in there. I'm going to put some landmass or something on that in a second anyway. I just want to get this white in. So if you'd watched the video that I put out last week, which was all dark, this is going to be very bright. But using the same type of principles of contrast is what I'm looking to do today. And then just bringing that down there like that. It's just going to be a little bit of land and some water is what I'm looking to do today. So let's get a little bit of That's good. I don't mind if this. I don't mind when I put the yellow onto this. I don't mind if it goes a little bit green, because this is just basically going to be water. So I'm just going to put some shadows in, just like this, very, very gently, like that. There's a bit of shadow in the water there, like that, just to bring it forward a bit, just to give us that little bit of that feeling of depth then, because it's just slightly darker there, lighter there, and just slightly darker there. You've got that distance creating already. We got that distance. I'm trying to create that distance, and all I'm doing is just putting a little bit of shadow in the water area, like that. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to dry that off with a hairdryer. Okay, so what I want to do now is just wash my brush out very quickly. I just do that with just ordinary tap water. There we go. A little bit of soap sometimes. I want to get some yellow now. And again, I want to lighten that up. Just like that. Nice thin type of paint. Not too thick. Not too thick today. I want to put a little bit of that yellow in the sky, just like that. We got orange and blue are complements, and this little yellow will just make it look nice. Not too thick, not too thin. If you've never tried painting on cardboard before, try it, because you might find that you like you like the effects that you can get with using a very thin watercolor texture type of feeling to this acrylic, because you can use acrylics like watercolors, and they'll fix in place. They're not fugitive. In other words, they won't fade and that over time, but you will get that watercolor effect that you want if you want to use acrylics instead of watercolors. So very much like a gouache, I find. Very much like a gouache. So we're going to put a bit of yellow in that water. As you can see, being very subtle with it. It's more of a wash and a glaze. You could do this on canvas, but you would have to make sure it's completely dry, and then give it at least 2 to 3 coats of varnish to seal everything in place, to stop it peeling away. Yeah, I think that would be my only advice, I think. So let's get a brush. Let's get a brush. So I'm going to go into some black now. Some black and blue. Nice blue black. And let's just, I want to grey that down a touch. So just lightening it with a little bit of white, because what I want to try and do now is put maybe a bit of land or something in the background there, like that. There we go. This is a way distance. We got some trees and things there like that. Just tapping the brush. And as I said before, if you want to do really detailed paintings, then that's fine. But I tend to just, I know these things tend to work really well, especially on craft fairs and things like that. I've sold quite a few different easy, what I call easy paintings like this, and this little study paintings. You could take this on to being something bigger if you wanted to. It all depends how detailed you want. The smaller you paint, smaller the canvas or smaller the working surface you paint, the harder things become. Because you can imagine painting a portrait now of somebody there and trying to paint their eye. But if you're painting a portrait and the size of this is their actual eye, how much detail you could get into it. So the bigger you paint, the easier it is, because you can put a lot more detail in. The smaller you paint, the more difficult it is. But then again, you don't need a lot of detail, because you're standing back, you're going to be looking at this from a distance of about 6 or 7 feet. If you've gone to any art galleries and things like that over the years, you'll know what I mean, because if you go up close and look at these things, you'll see that there's not a lot of detail. Even in the bigger paintings, there's not a lot of detail there really. It's just brush marks and things. So don't get pulled into the trap of, please don't get pulled into the trap that you have to put a lot of detail into something, because you really don't. And that's the thing. So we've established a little bit of background there. We've got a lovely sky. What I'm going to do now is just change my brush a little bit. I want a little detailed brush. There we go. I want to get a little bit of white and yellow, because I want to put a, I want it brighter than that actually. I want to put a nice glowing sun there, like that. Maybe even get a bit more white into that. Let's get a little bit of moisture on my brush, because my brush is quite dry. It's quite warm in the studio today. It's a Sunday afternoon and it's quite warm in Wales, considering normally it's cold and raining, but not today. Not today. There we go. That'll be okay, will it? That'll be okay? Yeah, okay. And that will be okay for now. This one. You just give that brush a wash, because it's a thin bristle. Make sure you always wash your brushes really well. Make sure you clean them, look after your brushes. Don't do what I do, because I don't look after my brushes as I should. Not really. Let's wash that brush as well. Excuse me. Let's get a little bit of white paint and a little bit of yellow paint. White paint, yellow paint, yellow paint, white paint. There we go. So we're going to put some clouds in now. We're going to do these stringy type of clouds. They're like a mackerel sky. Have you seen a mackerel sky? If you have, let me know. Just floating around. There's no actual shapes. I've told you before, can you see? I've told you before, when you paint clouds, we tend to paint them like this, and we tend to think too much. That's not the way to do it, really speaking. Just chuck them on like that. There you go. Loads of clouds. The smaller they are, the closer to the horizon they are. Just gives you that illusion of depth. Let's get a bit more white. And the odd little white cloud here and there, just like that. Or maybe just a little bit of highlight on top of those clouds. And I was just going to give you that illusion of clouds there. There we go. Nothing special, and that's what I like about it. Nothing special at all. So, I'm just going to check my cameras. Okay, what I want to do now, oops, is not drop my paint brush into my black paint. I'm going to use this black paint. Mars Black has got a lot of blue in it. I'm going to add a little bit more blue to it, and I've got a little angled brush. There we are. I'm not sure what number that is. I don't really stand on ceremony, so I want this light to shine through this tree, because I'm going to put a tree in there. I'm going to put a little trunk. I was using the very edge of the brush, but I also want to bring this landmass out like that, because we're gonna have something for the this tree to be sitting on. And there's a little river bank. That's the water there. This is the little river bank. Maybe there's somebody fishing or something on the edge of that. I don't know. What would you think? What would you do? Maybe we put a few little things like that. Maybe some bushes and all these little things, because we have somewhere for the little animals to live. Okay, so let's continue with this bank. Let's make this bank just a little bit bigger. There we go. Let's bring that bank out like that. There you go, just like that. Maybe a bit bigger. Watch these things, they tend to grow on you. Wiping the paint off the brush, and I'm going to just kind of pull that down very, very lightly, like that. And then I'm going to wipe my brush again. Just ease that through there like that. I know it doesn't look much at the moment, but trust me, we'll get there. We will get there. So, I'm going to try and put in something like a sycamore tree type of shape. Just using the edge of the brush, just like that, over that sun. There we go. Get the light coming through there in a second. Let's get down. Just very, very gently, trying to think of form this time. There, that looks like a sycamore tree, doesn't it? I think it does. You could do a weeping willow. You could do something like that. I suppose you could. I want a bit of light. There you go. Maybe we get a bit of yellow onto a brush. Just like that. There we go. I think I've lost my sun now. Just gonna see if I can. I wanted to be shining through. There, like that. Let's get a few of these branches and things just all over the shop, aren't they, really? There we go. Maybe there's a branch coming out. Like that. A couple of little bushes and things. There you go. Let's get some of this blue and white. And I want to put a water line across. Like that. Boom, 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 boom. let's get our brush again, and let's put some of this black in the water. That's this. The sun is setting. It's just throwing a little bit of a light reflection of this tree. There you go. It's in the water there like that. Do you know, I think we could put maybe another little tree there like that. There you go. Dry that off. Dry that off with the air dryer really well now. Okay, so what I want to do now, and I quite like making things up as I go along actually. I get my brush, make sure it's nice and clean. Okay, let's get some water. We'll use this yellow. There we are. I'm gonna put this yellow on there. I'm gonna brush in some yellow just over that water like that. Actually, this is just giving me an idea actually. That's just giving me an idea. I'm gonna get a bit more of this blue and black. I want to put some more shadow in this water, just like that. Do 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 do. And just go over that. I'm just going to go over that, just like that. Because this is now becoming, and this is why I love these type of things, because all of a sudden now I'm thinking now what time of day this actually is, and in my mind now I'm thinking it's very, very early in the morning. It's very, very early in the morning. So let's get some white highlight just there like that. Maybe a bit of sparkle. Actually, that's a good idea, isn't it? Let's get a little ray of light coming from that tree. Have you seen those rays of light? I want a bit more white, a bit more yellow. Not too much. Just coming from that tree like that. And it's just hitting the water. There. Just like that. So a ray of light. A bit of light there. There's going to be a little bit of light just on the back of that one there, like that. Okay, now I'm going to dry that again. I'm hoping this is dry enough. I've never got enough time to do what I want to do, really, because it's just the nature of the paint. I'm going to use, I don't normally condone using titanium white, as it's very, very opaque. I'm going to try this. A bit of a wash at the back, knock that back like that. I want to bring in a bit more thicker paint. I want to try and create a mist effect on the water. I guess there's a bit of mist just rolling up off that water like that. And if it's catching a little bit of light, it's going to be possibly catching a little bit of that sun ray as well, isn't it? Just like that. And get the mist pockets rising off the water. Just like that. So the sun, the morning sun, is flowing through our tree. It's warming the lake up. And this mist is coming off the cold, cold waters. And it's rising into the atmosphere and it's making some clouds. Because that's what water does. The sun evaporates the water. There you go. So it's a nice... Yes, I quite like that. You can improve it, I'm sure. But for now, I'm quite happy with that. So thank you very much for joining me on this cold, frosty morning with the mist rising up off the lake, the sun shining through that tree. Yes, I can see myself there fishing and casting out the rod and catching a couple of carp. So till next time, bye-bye.